Welcome. I'm going to run a detailed training session with your team on UniAgent's CRM version 3.0 today. I'm currently in UniAgent's Innovation Office where most of the action takes place to improve every single day and create new features to empower every stakeholder of international education mobility industry. Here are some key members of the Hot Center team that does a lot of work in producing local intelligence and make UniAgents more global by helping us in creating the support system in multiple languages and culturally acceptable in 160 countries. There are some geeks behind the CRM, which are, we call them our master programmers, and some of the designers behind our CRM, and a few key members from the research team. And I am hiding in the green room of the office to record this video in peace.
您好，我叫万宇超。If you are Chinese agent, I'm going to help you.
Oi, meu nome é Camila, and I will look after Brazilian agents.
Hola, me llamo Ariel, and I will help the Latin American agents in achieving their business goal.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Кондратьева Ольга, and I'm looking forward to assist Russian agents.
Namaskar, मेरा नाम अनंत नेपालिया है, and I will do my best to help the agents from Indian subcontinent.
Some tips to effectively train your staff on the CRM. Number 1, make sure everyone sits and watches it together, right from receptionists to the owners. It is important for everyone to look at the CRM from their own perspective. Please write down the questions you may have during the session, and I'm quite positive that I would answer a lot of them as the video progresses. However, if there is anything unanswered, it can be taken up by the training consultant after you have watched the video. You can always pause, rewind, and replay this session at your convenience. All the updates under version 3 would come in separate videos. So for example, there is a version 3.1 that would appear. So all the changes, all the new features would come in a separate video. A full video of a new version in terms of training would be available in version 4. Version 3 is launched on 15th of August 2016. Please get everyone around and let us start when you're ready. Just to start with, before I log into the system, let me tell you there are 5 login levels in the system. Number 1, which is super admin. Super admin means the owners, the people who are going to overlook the entire business from the top level, the people who have the rights to actually modify the structure of the business. Then we have branch offices. The branch office is like a super admin for the branch. So keep in mind the super administrator technically doesn't have to log in every day to do transactional activities. The super admin login is required to configure the account and to monitor the business act. Not many transactions can take place from this account, but this account technically holds the ground and create process and the system for everyone else to operate and has the right to monitor, of course. So the branch office is a super admin of the branch, which means the branch office can do a lot of activities, but at the branch level. And certainly these are the rights defined by the super admin for the branch office. But yes, it's quite important because all the counselors and the front office of that particular branch would come under the branch office, so all the rights and duties would be assigned by the branch office manager. Counselor is the most essential part of this business, wherein the person who actually does the action on the ground by counseling the student, by uploading application, by making sure communicating to the student at the right time. So a lot of activities and counselor would have a lot of tools under the CRM. The front office is a receptionist or your call center team who is technically receiving inquiries, is a front face before any lead or inquiry gets forwarded to the counselor. So quite important, as soon as you get a phone ringing, somebody calls and give their name, then this person would be quickly looking into the keyword into the system and forwarding the call depending on who's the right counselor, or would be giving them updates or booking appointments and asking them to come to the office, or at times, depends on how you really position your front office, but the rights are pretty flexible. The processing office is the set of people or a person who is responsible to liaise with institutions, universities, to process the application. Now, it can be done differently in different organizations. Some of you would allow your counselors to do that. So yes, a counselor can be given rights of a processing office. Similarly, it could be you can have a processing office for specific countries. So you have a UK processing office, a USA processing office, which could work differently. You can different logins for that, and you can assign them universities under a specific processing office. So yeah, I think it's quite important to sort of understand and to design your business first before you start to create your logins. And I will tell you more about them once we're in the system, watching the real action. But yes, another greatest tip that I have for you is that while I'm really taking you through, you not necessarily have to start using the system right away. You may want to first of all draw your hierarchy of the organization and the rights and duties of people on a piece of paper, and then start to utilize the system. So yeah, let's start and log into the system and watch the action now. Okay, here are we at the UniAgent CRM login screen. So I'm going to enter my login details, select the user type, which in this case would be super admin, and sign in. Keep in mind, when you forget your login details, you can always retrieve them by clicking on forgotten login details, and then the system will help you retrieving them. So here are we in the login screen. Now, just bear in mind, I'm not going to tell you a lot about what's there on the dashboard to start with, because the prime purpose of the super admin is configuration of the account and configuration of the entire business in terms of how every user would use the system, what will be the process, and who would have what rights. So let's understand how to configure the system first before we get into details of learning about dashboard and graphs and reminders and features like that. So I'm not going to talk anything about what looks on the screen right now, but let's start with configuration of the system. Now, the first thing you need to do while you start configuring your system is to understand how many users you have, what rights you want to allow them, and where do you want to position them in terms of hierarchy. So as the owner of the business, the first thing I would do is draw it on a blank sheet of paper, write down, I have 5 different logins, as explained earlier, so I will just identify who's who in my company. Now, keep in mind, you can have a same person with multiple rights as well. So as an owner of the business, I can also be the branch office manager of the London office, because I'm the only one there with 3 counselors and I handle the branch. So great, I can also be a counselor. Now, I'm a branch manager. Also, because I am too much involved in the business is not too big in certain cases, then in that case I can also become a counselor, because I want to also counsel students, because my management job in terms of reviewing other offices is not does not really consume 100% of my bandwidth. So I do have time and I do counsel students. I can also become a counselor. So I think create a hierarchy on a blank sheet of paper, identifying who's who, and that will help you in really sort of creating your account. The next step is again, picking up a blank piece of paper and writing down what all countries am I going to represent and what is going to be the process. But let me take you to the screens first in order to understand it in a better way. So the first thing I got to do as a super admin would be to go on representing countries and add a country, because my entire business and business flow would depend on which countries am I going to really work with. And keep in mind, this is the beauty about the CRM. You can add, modify the entire workflow in the system whenever you want it to. So this is why we're so unique. So you go on add representing country and select a country you want to add. So it's quite simple. For example, I want to send students to Austria. I'll add the country, write down the monthly living cost for a student, for example, is 600 euros. I'll enter the visa requirements, whatever they are, part-time work details, for example, 20 hours per week, during term time, and off-term time there are additional details. You can enter whatever you want to add here and write down the general country benefits. So certain countries have post-study work opportunity. Some of them have full-time work opportunities. Some of them give special opportunities to students at the doctoral level for research students. So whatever country benefits are for a specific institution, please mention them here, because this is going to be used by your counselors and the students while they're going through the various information. Now, this is the most important part. While you actually design a system and a workflow of a country. So how does an application work in Austria? It could be different from the one that you use for Australia and then New Zealand and America. So you have to define the workflow now. This application process can contain the statuses offered by a university, by external stakeholders like embassy, and probably there are other companies that are involved. So this application process is a consolidated application flow chart, which should include all the external stakeholders which are part of this, including institution, embassy, or insurance company to anybody else, and it should also include your own internal process as well. So probably I have to interview every student before I make it, ask them to actually go for a visa or to submit a fee. So it can actually include both internal and external processes, and basis that we would define and design this process. So let's start. So the new is a default status of any application which is not touched so far. You can have an application status called, for example, application forwarded or verified. You can have conditional offer. You can have conditional offer. Supporting documents. Submitted. Can have unconditional offer. Similarly, you can add multiple details in here right until a student actually enrolls or you get your commissions from the institution. There's no limitation. You can have 23 stages, 25, 30, 35. Depends on how comprehensive you want to make it work, because all your reports in the system will be generated based on the statuses you've created. So if I ever want to find out how many students reached a specific status between 1st of March 2016 and 31st of March 2016, will be able to filter them through. And of course, every report mechanism works on different statuses set by you on the system. So it's quite important. But it's also important to understand, do not make it too lengthy. Do not create 50 steps when they're really not needed to sort of track students on a particular status. So it should be modest in terms of how you really define this process. It can depend and vary from company to company. Some organizations are too huge in size, and an agency who has 200 staff members, for them it's very, very important to track every single activity. On the other hand, an agency size 6-7 people could also do a lot of things on an informal basis. However, going down the line, when you really talk about scaling up, you can always add new status, reorder them, and still restructure your mechanism without disturbing the historical data. So which is the beauty of this entire system. So once I've decided these things, I can add the status. So I'm going to look at something which is already added. So for example, I have an Australian process here. So as soon as you add it, it will appear in your added process. Now keep in mind, in this entire system, we have these green and red buttons. The green means it's active and red means it's deactivated. So anytime I want to activate, deactivate anything, I can simply do that by clicking and changing the color. So Australia currently is a country added on my system. If I want to deactivate it, I can simply turn it red and the status will be changed. Now, Deactivation means that anywhere this country makes an impact will disappear, which means now no counselor will get rights to add application for Australia. Nothing in my system would function for Australia. We do not allow you to delete anything, and this is deliberate because if you delete an information, there will be no intelligence. So if you find out what you did in Australia 3 years ago, you can find it out because it's just deactivated. Your reports will still have information. That is why we don't delete anything. We just activate or deactivate. So let me activate it back. It's simple. So this is an application process that I have added. So as soon as it's added, similarly, again, you have green and red buttons. Suddenly you want to deactivate one of the statuses in the application. You can always do that. Now, once you're viewing the application process you've already added, what you can do is edit anything by just clicking on the edit button. So I don't want to call it document verification initiated. I want to call it something else. I can see there's a spelling mistake here. So I'll just go and change that. So that's all right. I update it. So yeah, I have, there's things being corrected. The other thing about this, once you're viewing the application process, you can add auto email templates. So system sends out every applicant an update from your agency when an application status changes. So as soon as there's a new application, you add it. Student can receive a confirmation on their email saying, congratulations, my agency, whatever the name is, the agency name here is Unitree. So the Unitree has forwarded your application to this institution, and we would inform you as soon as we have an update, or feel free to call us on these numbers, whatever the template is. So these are auto templates. You don't need to add student name and their whatever, everything will come automatically, just the email content. So I can write a subject of a new email, application received, and I can write a message here. We have successfully received your application. Whatever I want to write, I can just write and save it, and this will become a template which will automatically be sent to the student. And it can happen on every status. Now there are certain status where you don't want to send an email to student, then don't fill them up. You can leave them blank. Only if something is filled, it will go automatically. Otherwise, no email would go out of the system. Great. Now again, as turn on, turn off button, I can turn off any status, as I told earlier. Now, there's another button called Manage Statuses. So this is quite important. Now, there are two kinds of conversions that we call on our system. The first conversion is for leads. So you get a lot of leads on the system, and I'll come to leads. Now, a lead is called converted when it gets turned into an application. So it's not a lead anymore, it's an application for you. The second level of conversion is on an application. Now, this can vary from country to country. Certain countries may call a conversion when you receive a visa. Some may call it when you pay the fee. Some would call it a conversion when a student is enrolled. And it's also dependent on the business. So if I'm, as an owner, wants to consider Australian applications as converted only when the student has enrolled, then I would select enrolled as an option. Similarly, there is in the managing application status, you have alarms for processing office. At what steps, on what stages of an application you like to create an alarm for the processing office. So there can be multiple, like at what step I want my processing office to act quickly. So I can select multiple and I can submit them. So this will update the login line. Great, so now I can add the status notes for my application process. Status notes means an instruction to tell your users what to do next. So if an application is new right now, the next steps would be to get it verified by processing office. Or any other thing I want to write down, XYZ, I can write it down. and it's available for every status. So because there's a question mark, what's next next to the existing status, which I'll be able to show you later on, these notes will appear there. So every user does not get confused. They know exactly what to do. Suddenly there's a policy change, you change it here, it changes in every account. So you don't need to keep reminding them about the new process. So, and that's the beauty of the system. You can depend on your systems instead of remembering things and avoid making faults. Now, that's great. So, I have already set everything up. The other thing can be, what happens if suddenly the process changes? I have new steps, and some of the steps are not relevant anymore. So in terms of removing the steps, I told you earlier, just turn them off by turning the green to red is simple. But to add a new step, you have to click on Add New Status and write, for example, a new status called EPIR. Okay, whatever this means. I add that now. This is added. Now, where to position this EPIR is very important. So it's just after new. I don't need it here. I need it after financials are verified. So what I need to do is go and reorder steps. Drag the EPIR after financials are verified. It becomes step 12 automatically. So everything gets reordered. So it's quite simple to drag and drop anything when you want to drag and drop. And as soon as you submit, the changes will appear. Great. So that's done. So technically, representing countries can be added simply by adding the country and adding the steps for them. And you can add multiple countries under your process. So these are the ones I currently represent. Soon as I stop representing a country, I can turn them off. But it's important that I create a unique, specific process which works for my business. Having a simple process from new with 5 steps to enrolled would not give you the intelligence. But as I told earlier, don't over-exaggerate it as well. Don't really, go overboard by breaking a step into multi-steps as well. This can create confusions at some point of time. So that's done with the representing countries. The next thing I need to do is now add institutions. So I would go on, add institutions, select the country. Only the country I have added already in the system would appear here. So for example, I want to add an institution in Australia. I can select a name. So there are some universities which are here, which I should select if they're already here. If that name of the institution does not appear on the list, then I can add a new one. So for example, it's not on the list. Then in that case, what I can do is select others, and it will ask me to enter the name of the institution. So I can enter XYZ, enter the campus, or either mention the website, add a logo of the institution. So if I'm selecting one of the ones which is already there, then the logo would automatically come. I don't need to add the logo or the website. But if there's a new one, then I need to add these details. I can have my own international contact person. It's private to you, doesn't come from any central database. So it could be the people that you liaise with. It's your point of contact in the university. You can mention their details, their email and contact number, and save it. As soon as you've done that, you can view all the institutions that you represent. So for example, Arcadia University, I can always go and edit it if I need to edit it, and I can always add new programs. Now, add courses is something a super admin can do, a processing office can do, or you can assign this right to others as well to do that for you. So it can be done by a data entry person in the front office as well. So, adding a course is quite simple. Write down the title of the program, course level, select the duration in months, years, or weeks. Campus location, awarding body will automatically appear. Course fees, application fees, amount, currency, monthly living cost, part-time work details, course benefits, general eligibility, language eligibility. Select what category does it refer to. So business program, then mention business management. If there are multiple, for example, it's business and law, you can select multiple. So it's sports, law management, something like that. You can have multiple categories. You can add additional documentation. For example, you have some course leaflet, course brochures. You can add them, upload them here. And you can always add key modules in it as well, which will allow us to enhance our research and searching toolbars on your website and for the counselors. So for example, they have 3 key modules, one in actuarial management. Probably there are some niche modules that this program covers. So a time student comes to you and asks you for, I'm looking for sports management, or I'm looking for health management with SAP certification modules. So, does it have SAP into it? Then you can mention that. So key modules are useful to sort of allow your counselors to search course by keywords as well. So it's quite handy. Yes, you would need to add these courses before you empower your agents, your counselors, and your students to use your website quite effectively. However, these can be done on the go as well. So you not necessarily have to add everything beforehand. So probably you, under your top 50 institutions, you have 10 top programs with each one of them, then add those courses, and you can add the rest of them while you are functioning. So your counselors can also add it. For example, the student just turned up, they can add the program while they're adding an application as well. So this database will get built up over a period of time. So this is how you add the programs, and this is the important bit. Now, once you have added the institutions, the courses under them, and you have added the countries, now is the time to go live with your different users. So what you really can do now is, so let me take you through the My account first. It's important to understand what's on my account. So link to dashboard, I'll explain the dashboard right at the end. Then I have something called edit profile, which I can edit just in case if the changes of the super admin, the details changes, then certainly I can go and edit the information. API links, quite important. Now, since this entire CRM can be integrated into your website, into your Facebook page, and we will provide you APIs for it, so you can get these APIs links from this link. I would not be able to access it because I'm on a trial version with dummy accounts, but once I'm a full user, which probably you are, then in that case you will be able to take these API information from here and get it to your programmer, or ask us. We can guide you how to integrate your website, how to integrate your Facebook page, and other important URLs with our CRM, which means students, your sub agents, your counselors, everybody can log in using your website instead of coming to uniagents.com. And also all the leads, inquiries on your website can start landing directly into your CRM. Similarly, this will happen with your Facebook page, and you would be able to do that with your Facebook page as well. So the leads from your Facebook page can also land directly into your system. Multi-user access is quite interesting because sometimes what happens is, and this is important to tell you right at this stage because I'm going to create levels of users now. So if I am, as a small business, operate also as a branch office manager, as I already explained in the video, yes, I can select who am I as a super admin. Do I want access to other accounts? Then I can select those accounts here. So I'm also the branch office of Mumbai, and I also do some processing, and I do counselor. My name is Andy as a super admin. So I also have a counselor account. So I can select all 3 of them and save it. As soon as I save, a switch user option would appear on my screen. So initially, the switch user button will not be there on your system. Only when you select the multi-user access, you'll be able to have the switch user option, which means without logging out, logging in again and again, you can switch users. Now, this facility is available to me as a super admin. The same facility is available to the branch office manager. If the branch office manager also does counseling, then branch office manager can decide if he or she is also a counselor. And similarly, the processing office can also be a counselor, but processing office cannot choose their own access. The super admin has to assign them the rights. So I'll show that to you when we come to processing office. But for now, as a super admin, I have multiple user rights which are available. Now, I wouldn't get them till the time I add them. So keep this in mind. I need to go, first of all, create a branch office, then create a counselor, and then of course create processing office as well. So let me start by adding the details of a branch office. So sorry, too fast. I'll go to branch office and add a branch office. That's the first thing I need to do while I'm creating my hierarchy. So as a super admin, the next level is a branch office. So I'll write the branch office name. For example, I have office in Sri Lanka, or what they call it, Colombo. And I write on the address, city. So the branch name, for example, I have 5 offices in Colombo. So the branch name could be the area. So Colombo and Road 12 is a branch name. It depends how I want to call it. I can even name it in the name of branch office manager. So it's up to me how I want to really do it. Add the address, select the country. So Sri Lanka. Write down the email address of the branch office. Now keep in mind, anytime I'm creating any login level, there will be an automatic email which will be sent to this email ID and needs to be verified. If the email is not verified, the system will not be able to send out information from this and out and in from this email. Because it's a strict anti-spamming policy. Every user on the system needs to have a verified email. I can add a phone number, website, if it's a different website for the different branch offices, contact person, designation, most likely the branch manager or head of the branch, whatever, mobile number, phone, Skype ID, and the login details. I can create the login details for them, their email address, which probably would be same as here. But yes, just in case sometimes the branch has a common email like info or Colombo at, but the branch office manager has a personal email ID which he or she is going to use. So I can have different emails as well. I have a login ID and password. Soon as I create that, it will become one of my branch offices and it will start appearing everywhere. So let's assume I've created a branch office here and I'm logging into a branch office. So here I am. So technically, otherwise you would first log out and then log in, but since I've added it under switch user, I can just simply click on switch user. So that's how a branch office looks like. It's quite similar to what super admin does. So as I explained, branch office manager is a super admin for that particular branch. So here we are. I have a dashboard as well. I have a multi-user access as well. So now I can decide which counselor am I. So on my multi-user access, I'll only have which front office I want to be or which counselor office I want to be. So I can select that and I'll be able to switch user based on my selection. Great, so sometimes the office is too small, I'm the only person working there. And in that case, I'm the front office, anybody comes, any inquiry comes in, I deal with it, or I can directly be a counselor. So that's a multi-user access. Sometimes some of the users would add these multi-user access just because they want to monitor these accounts more closely. So they want to enter them, or sometimes they know this person is missing, they have just left the job, I'm taking over the responsibility. Then I also, in that case, I can allow that myself to do it. However, I cannot do it with more than one user type. So I can be only one counselor. I can't be 5 counselors. It's difficult. It's impossible for one person to do that. So it allows me to only select one user type that I want to be. Now, as a branch office manager, the first thing I need to do is add counselors, because that's the most important thing. So adding counselor is very simple as well. You name the counselor, write a phone number, allow them to download Excel sheets or not. Quite important feature, because everything that appears in the system, we allow you to download that into Excel sheets. We call it CSV, the comma separated values. So now I can either allow that to a counselor or I can allow it without contact information. Sometimes I need that counselor to have the access to create some customized reports, but I don't want the counselor to download the bulk database with contact information of students. So I can allow it without contact information as well. Now, while I'm adding a counselor, I can allow a counselor processing office rights. Now, what does a processing office mean? Processing office means I have the right to forward application to university and liaise with the university to process an application. Now, great, you can do that by allowing this counselor to get the processing office rights. If you don't do that, in that case, of course, you will create a processing office who would have the rights of forwarding applications. Now, keep this in mind. Sometimes you're doing an experiment with the country. For example, I want to send applications to Belgium. And Belgium as a country, I represent 2 universities there, is not big. I do 5 applications a year. And I don't want to create a processing office for that or train my processing office over it. I'm just experimenting. I may not get any application for it. So probably one of my counselor who has less work to do these days, I would get this person to become a processing office only for Belgium. Great. Which means while I'm adding this counselor, I would only assign Belgium universities to this person. I'll show you how that works. So once I've added the information, now you create these passwords as well. However, the user once logged in can obviously change their password from their account. You will never be able to see these passwords, but yes, you can always reset them as a superior login. So if one of my counselors changes the password tomorrow, I can always go and reset it from my account as well. Great. So once that's done, I can now view this counselor once I've added them successfully. So currently I have 4 of these counselors. Again, turn on, turn off button. I want to deactivate all the access of this counselor. I can just deactivate it. I don't need to delete anything, delete this account, because it's important to have the historical information for us to create intelligence for you. So I can activate it as well. I can filter them by status. I can filter them by downloading rights. I can filter them by keywords or their email IDs, search them by email. So some agencies are big, they have over 50 counselors in an office, 100 counselors. So the searching tools become quite important. Now, once you have added a counselor, you need to assign them institution, because otherwise, while they're adding application, they will not get this option. So I have to assign an institution by clicking on assign. Simple. So, these are the multiple institutions that I work with, which are added by me successfully. And the tick box ones are already assigned, but I can assign them more. If I want to assign them entire Singapore, he's my Singapore specialist consultant. I can click on all Singapore and assign them everything. Great, so it's quite simple. Now, you'll see there's a difference here. These are standard institution, and there are some which comes up with a highlight called global access. And what is this global access? I'll talk about it in detail, in the video. Or there's already a video available under global access called how to use. You can click here to watch how to use global access. Very briefly, global access is a very unique platform developed by uni agents to allow agents to represent universities around the world without signing contracts with them. So it means if I am an agent, I have a student who wants to go and study in Thailand, and I don't do Thailand, then I don't need to turn that student down or try to convince the student to go to Malaysia instead of Thailand. I can search on the global access, the institutions on Thailand, and represent them and still earn my commissions without having a contract. So it's a digital contract we allow you to sign with the institution directly and give them application. However, what are the rules of global access, how to sort of benefit most from it? You need to watch this video under global access, how to use. But the great news is, once you add an institution under global access, all the information right from the course details to everything will get automatically imported into your system. You don't need to update them. You don't need to add multiple courses. Everything, if they have 200 programs, all 200 programs will automatically get added onto your system. They're centrally managed. You don't need to keep updating them as well. University update them, and you will get the up-to-date information on your accounts. So that's a great thing about the global access. But yes, I can also assign this person the right to do global access. Now, Can I do this? Allow the same institution to be represented by multiple counselors? Yes. So if I have 5 counselors for Singapore, all can be assigned all Singapore universities, and they will be counseling students as and when they come. So yes, I can duplicate that as a system. So once I've done that, my counselor job is pretty much done. I have assigned them the institutions. Similarly, I can remove institution as well. Some institution has complained about one of my counselor, doesn't want to be represented by that particular person. I can remove it as well. So by clicking on remove institution, I have them here. I can just delete. So I don't want this person to represent ERC, so I just delete it. Great. So it's gone. Michigan State, delete. So yeah, that's gone as well. I can update it to save the changes. Great. So that makes it easy. So I have added the counselors quite successfully. Now the next thing I need to do is sorry for these updates. So the next thing I need to do now is add the front office. Okay, so that's the next user level. I can add a front office and allow them to write their name, telephone number, mobile, write their email and password again. That's another thing on the front office level. Do I want to allow them to edit leads? Because a lot of leads, phone people call on the front desk, so they're the call center people either handling all the leads, or they are the receptionists who are just handling with all the walk-ins. And then do you want to allow them to edit leads, which means if somebody calls and tells them that, oh sorry, can you update my number, or I will not be able to come today, I will come tomorrow, then can you just go and change the information on follow-up details and things like that? Then yes, you can allow them to edit leads. Then they would be able to do so. If not, then they will be only able to add information, not edit anything. So that's something you need to decide as a business. So yeah, it's quite simple. I've added the front office. I can view them. I only have one person here, and I can again activate, deactivate them. Great, and I can filter them through their multiple front office people in the company. But because every business is quite different, some agents only do call center driven work, so they have a lot of people been calling without any counseling. So technically, they're driven by a team of 5 people who are just using a database of people by and contacting them and adding the leads and then assigning them to counselors. So it depends. You can have multiple front office as well instead of just one receptionist. Great. So technically, I have added my users into the system. I will switch back to Super Admin quickly and try to understand the business more closely from a perspective of the owner of the business, and what are the other features I have on the system to customize my experience. So I've done that. As I explained to you, the global access bit, you'll have to watch this video, how to learn about global access by clicking here. The information will keep changing. We're currently on a trial between September 2016 until April 2017. And after that, the next version would be launched for global access. And we are hoping to take it to an absolute next level in 2017. Branch office, I've done that. Processing office. Now, I can add a processing office by simply adding the details again. Who's the processing office, address, where is it, point of contact, designation, mobile number. If it's a big company, then I'll have designations under it. If technically there's only one person dealing with entire UK applications, I'll write down UK application manager. There's only one person. Once I've added them again, I can view them. And I can assign institutions to the processing office as well. So which institution this person is able to process applications for. So if I only have one processing office, so I assign them everything. And similarly, I can view institutions and unassign some as well. So yeah, I can dump them into the dustbin, and unassign as well. Now, manage users is allowed for processing office, but you can decide which processing office, which counselor can this processing office log in as. Because sometimes the processing office is also not a full-time job because of the size of the business. So my processing office also does counseling at times. So his name is Phil. So my processing office is also Phil. So he will be able to switch users from switch user option. So like now I get option of switching to branch, processing, and counselor. When he would log in as the processing office, the only option will appear on the switch user would be switch to counselor office. Great. So I have now successfully added my processing office as well. Now the biggest problem, everybody would complain sometimes that, oh, the institution is not appearing, I'm not able to forward, because you have not assigned the rights. So it's important while you create any user, as soon as I add a new university into my system, I need to assign it to my people. So this is one thing you need to look into. That's why it's a special role by the super admin to remain on top of the game. As soon as a new change is added, just make sure that you add the right process, add the right institution, add the right information, and assign the rights to the people as well. So that's great. Once the processing office is done, I am good to go on that. Now the next thing into the system is manage associates, or you want to call them sub-agents. So in your business, sometimes sub-agency is quite a big business model, and you receive most of your applications through them. And some businesses would not use sub-agents at all, and you can ignore this module completely. So adding an associate is quite simple. You add the associate name, their address, city, email, country. Upload a contract if you have a contract with them. Write down the contact person's detail, designation, phone number, Skype ID, any information that you want to use. And just one second. Great. So the next one on the list is managing associates, or you can call it sub-agents. So it depends on how big your business is in terms of receiving application from sub-agencies. This feature is either important or of no use to you, depends on what your business model is. So some of the agencies who use a lot of agents, sub-agents to recruit students, then they can manage them using the system by simply adding them. So I have a manage associate button. I click on it and add the details here. I can have terms of association. So for example, I can mention I have agreed on a 5%. 5% commission on the first 10 applications, and or whatever I may have done with them. I can deal like this. I can upload the contract terms if I have a contract with the sub-agent, point of contact, designation, mobile, Skype ID, and create this associate. Now, you need to understand anything I add as a super admin would reflect with every branch office. So if there's a sub-agent added as a super admin, then all my branch offices would be able to access this sub-agency. But if every branch office I have has their own network of sub-agents, then I should not add them from here. They can add their sub-agents branch-wise. Okay, so it's view and it's sub-agent or associate I've added. So it's make your future. Add date, again, turn on, turn off button, quite simple. Edit and view. And just in case if they're not verified their email, I can send them a verification link again so they can activate their access. They would not be able to log in to the system, but they will be able to monitor the applications they have forwarded. They can track those applications that they have provided you from your own website. So which is a good thing. That's one of the APIs given to you. Now, the next important one in this system is lead management, which I should take you through. So leads are and I think all of us understand can come from different sources. Any potential student application is a lead which I can collect while attending a fair. Can be received by the phone calls or the website. So the first important thing as a super admin, I need to add or designate lead sources. Again, the same thing, same principle applies here. Any lead source I'm going to add from here would appear to all branches. So if I have offices in India, in China, in Africa, and Brazil, then I can add a lead source, for example, websites, a common source, no problem. But for example, there is Rio Education Times, which only get published in Rio. Then I can add these lead sources from my branch office account. So my branch manager can add their own lead sources as well. But as a super admin, I can actually do the reporting of the local lead sources added by branch office, and also on the more universal one, which are phones, websites, which are common. So how much business do I receive through phone calls in Brazil, comparison to the ones I receive in China? I can do that. So lead sources can be added. I can view these lead sources as super admin. So these are the ones added by me. But can you see here, Unitree is a super admin. They're all being added by me, but suddenly there is one added by the branch office Mumbai called Times Mumbai Education Edition. So I'll be able to manage everything, even what is added by my branch office, everything would appear. Suddenly, for example, we don't advertise in this anymore, I can turn this off. Great, simple as that. Manage customized lead field. So we have a standard lead form which covers most of the information about a student, but I can even customize lead form. I have up to 10 fields, I can name them. So I want academic qualification, WhatsApp number, bank statement, or bank balance for the last 12 months, whatever. I can add anything that I want to collect more than a standard lead form. I will show you the standard lead form, how it looks like, but these are the additional fields. Okay. I cannot add a lead because I'm a super admin, not my job. Only the front office or the counselors can do that. So I'm going to show you how a lead forms look like. So I'm going to switch to the counselor. And show you how to add a lead. Very simple to do that. You select the lead source. The only active ones would come. Write down the student details, last name, country of interest. So primary country of interest. So I think the student wants to go to Australia. So I'll select Australia. Any institution, then you can enter the name. Intake of interest. Oops, sorry, 2017. Email address. Okay. Date of birth. 1986. 5th August. It will tell you the current age of the student as well, because sometimes they're not eligible because of the age. As soon as, and it is a real-time data, whenever you view a lead, their current age would appear here. Phone number, alternate number, mobile, estimated budget, level of interest. They want to go and do bachelor's, certificate, diploma, areas of interest. And I'm sorry for them as well again. I need to restart probably. You need to add academic qualifications. These are the customized leads form that you have. Up to 10 you can ask for in the application, in the lead application. And follow-up details is something you don't need to add when you create a lead, but yes, as soon as the counselor picks it up, when you contact the student the first time, you need to select when do you want to follow them up. So I'm currently editing or adding the lead as a counselor, so I know it's my lead. But if I am a branch office or a front office, the first option on my list would be select the counselor. Who do you want to assign it to? So for example, in the additional information, I can see the student wants to go to UK, USA, or Canada. Then I can assign it to 3 counselors, 4 or 5 different counselors as well. and all of them can contact the student respective to their own country that they represent or work with. Now, the reason why this flexibility is there because it depends on the agency to agency. Sometimes you want one student to be assigned to only one counselor. Yes, you can stick to that policy. But some companies are too big and they have country specialists. Then it can be given to different people, and a student can be contacted by more than one counselor for a specific country inquiry. So great. Once I've added it, if I'm a counselor, I can add a follow-up. So I think this, after talking to the student, or meeting the student, I think student is fairly serious, is a hot lead. He really wants to go. Asked me to follow up next week. So I'll call him next week, or probably meet. He's promised to come next week with the documents. It'll be a meeting at 5 p.m. So I'll select that and add my remarks. Serious student, and or probably promise to bring the documents to file the application. Great. So I can submit that and it'll create a lead. It will create a follow for me, so I will remember the student has to come. I can plan my day, and these are the features available to me on my dashboard. So adding a lead is quite simple. Viewing a lead again, quite simple from here. All my leads are here. Every lead is color coded. All the new ones I haven't touched so far, which means they are the ones assigned to me by the front office. I need to look at them. All the failed leads, the ones who are red in color. Completed means when they're converted into an application, which means they're successfully converted. And in process means I'm still working on them. A button called download leads in CSV. I can download information. As I told you again, a counselor with the rights to do that would only get this option with or without contact information. Now, when there are too many leads, you can filter the leads by counselor. I want to see, in my business, I want to see, who, for example, who's dealing with which lead. Yes, I can access it. Interested countries, lead type, follow-up date, from and to. I want to see all the leads which have a follow-up date next week. I can select the multiple dates and do that. Due date, end date, added on which date. For example, I want to look at all the leads added on last Saturday. Lead source, anything which came from education fair, or search them by keyword. So it's quite easy to do that. So for me to edit an information, for example, I want to edit this lead. I can simply go on edit button. I can change that lead, any information I want to change here, or add new follow-up date. So quite simple. Now, I have to manage my follow-ups. So I will select the ones which are for today. They'll also come on my dashboard as reminders. So Sanjay is a hot lead, is going to come and meet me today, for example. I add it. This guy is here. He's ready to apply. So what I do now is, he said, oh, I've got my documents. So I will complete this lead. Select the status completed. I don't need to select any follow-up date time in this case. Only when I am not completing it, instead I am still asking for a further follow-up, I will do that. If I'm completing a lead, which means I'm turning this into application, I go on, press update, and when I scroll down now, I have an option of generating an application. So I go on generate application, and I can now create an application for the student. If there's an application fee, so this is something I'm talking about, how to add an application. So and there are multiple ways. I'll come to that later on, but I'm just showing you the standard way from a lead converting into an application. So that's the first method of adding an application. So some universities ask for application fee. So for example, there's 100 USD of application fee. I select that. I select the currency, $100. Payment method. Student is going to pay by credit card. He already has paid. I have a reference number here. Payment date, just made it. Remarks, online payment done. Great. Scholarship. If there is a scholarship which student wants, is eligible for, not, then leave it blank. Upload the copy of the proof of the payment. So I can do that, a screenshot of things like that. Not necessary to do that, but however, it's good to do that. Country, student wants to go to New Zealand. Okay. I select the institution, select the program. So just in case the course is not there, the university has a lot of programs, these are 2 top sellers, and suddenly student wants to go to the 3rd program. I can add the course quite easily, just by writing course title, level, duration, campus, fee, general eligibility and language eligibility, and submitting. I don't need to fill all the modules and details like that. That can be done later on. I can have a quick editing form, and I can add a program. As soon as I add a new course, it'll start appearing in all the accounts. But here I'm going to select one, intake, February 2017, personal details, anything which was filled in the lead would appear automatically, name, email, but the others I have to fill in. Passport number, mobile number, do they have a valid passport? If they don't have one right now, then it can be no. Permanent address, education, and English language requirements. So the last qualifications, year of passing, grade. I can scan the copy and upload it here. They've taken an IELTS and select IELTS. Mention information here on individual scores, additional information. Upload the copy of the IELTS scorecard. Now, it's recommended to upload individual files instead of a common folder, which is also a case. However, because the system allows you to forward documents to the university from the system itself to keep a track of what is the communication on every application, then it's recommended to upload individual files. Work experience and academic references. So you have experience here and the references here. Statement of purpose, which can be typed and copy pasted here, or you can upload a file for that as well, a Word, a PDF. Any additional information in terms of accommodation need, health, medical, and additional documentation. So you may want to add a passport copy or a combined PDF or a combined folder or zip folder, and you can title that document. What is that document name? For example, it's a passport, so I'll write passport. It's a bank statement. I can write bank statement, and I can upload these files, and I can submit it. As soon as I do that, the file will get uploaded, and that's the one way of adding an application. The second way of adding an application is a direct application. Student never was a lead, directly walked in and with documents and said, I'm ready to apply. Or in that case also, you can have an argument that why the student not was added as a lead first. So possible, you can add that as a lead, look at a source like walk-in, which you can also do here. A source of lead can be walk-in here. So you don't need to really add a lead and directly add an application. Or somebody just applied using a website because there's an API available. Somebody can apply directly on your website as well. A student can. So that's the second way of directly adding an application. The third way is adding an application of a student who has already applied with your organization, whether it's your branch office or any other branch office. You can apply by simply using the reference number. So this is a great feature which allows you to import all the information somebody has added in the previous application, so you don't have to ask them for documents again and again, their details again and again. Everything is centralized on the system for you. So for example, let me go and view an application. So this guy called Kartik, that's the unique ID, uni-agent's ID of the student, has already applied to a Singapore institution, but now wish to apply to another one in New Zealand. So I'm going to go and add application. Now students also have these numbers. They can check it from their email ID, but you can track it as well. Now you don't have to go to view application because you can only see your application, but the student is from other branch. Then in that case, you can go and search student first. So I'm going to open that in a new tab. You can search a student by the name Kartik. I can see there's one inquiry of Kartik who wants to go to Singapore, dealt by Andy, and there's one application of Kartik he paid into some institution, and I can view this application and take their ID as well from here. So I'm going to search the student Kartik. So I can see that Kartik is a student who's already paid the fee for Singapore, handled by Andy. From which branch, what's the email, date of birth. I can view the student for looking at their application details. Similarly, it is a lead by Kartik, also interested in Singapore, but it's a different person. And that's the same person who was also a lead. It's a completed lead. I can try and search for somebody else as well. So I can look for example, Sanjay. To give you an example of how search works. So currently no application, but there are 3 Sanjays. 2 are dealt in Mumbai, one by Andy, one by Charlie, another one in the Lagos branch, and is dealt by Alex. So I can view these leads as well, in details. So technically, yes. I'm going back to the main topic. I was just trying to demonstrate how search leads work, as search students work. You can look at search a person by name, by email, by date of birth, by passport number, by keyword, and it will reflect how many of such matches match in an application status and a lead status as well. So it's important before anybody walks into a branch office and say, hey, I want to use your services. I would first check if they already have been in our system historically or with another branch office. So I'm not really creating a duplicate person. I can make sure that it's a new person that hasn't been dealing with us historically. So going back to the original topic, while I was adding an application using this reference number, so I've just copy pasted the student reference number and I can search it. As soon as that's done, it will import all the information. So I found the student originally through newspaper. Does the person needs to pay any fee from this institution? Great. Otherwise, I can select the new university the person wants to go to. I always change the mind, now doesn't want to go to Singapore anymore, wants to go to New Zealand. Then I can select the New Zealand institution, select the program, select the intake, and do as I did with the other application. The great news is that everything for this application is already filled in. I don't need to fill anything again. Even the files for the supporting files are here. You can see that we can download by checking them as well. Original files are here. Just in case if you want to replace this file for this specific institution, for example, here's the scanned copy files as well. For example, the reference or the statement of purpose for this institution is different. So I can just choose another file and upload it. It will get replaced for this application only. The application I've imported the data from would remain the same. Great. So I have everything here that I wanted. It has 10th, 12th, graduation certificate, whatever I've uploaded is already there as well. And I can again replace if I need to. So that's the easiest way. You only need to fill the details once for an application. Once they're added, every student has a unique ID and you can import the details using the unique ID of the student. Great. So that's the 3 different ways of adding an application into the system. Now, as I'm switching back again to the super admin, because I think I've shown what I wanted to show you right now. Let me finish everything on the super admin, then I will go and detail out things in different users. So I have done my lead management. I completed the application, so I know how it works. Now going back to view search leads, as a super admin, I can view search all of them status wise on the system. I can look at the branch office wise, counselor wise. I want to see what Andy is doing, or I want to look at everybody in Mumbai branch. I can look at only Mumbai leads. And also, sometimes I want to download this information to CSV as super admin. I have no restriction. I can download whatever I want to do. Again, those handy tools like from date, to date, lead type, added on which date, when is a follow-up. Yes, I can do that. Similarly, I can look at manage follow-ups, purely really sort of managing follow-ups, who's following them up, have they been followed up, or there any missed follow-up. Yes, I can look at that. as well. So follow-up date, I want to look at all the follow-ups for today. Then from Mumbai branch, the 3 total follow-ups, 1 already been done. So this is the one we just completed into application. So that's done. I had these 2 pending ones. I can do them, and I can turn them green as well. So I know these are yet are still to be looked into. So the green is a completed follow-up already. So that's how the leads work. Now, the another important part of the system is task management. Now that's like an internal system for different users within my company. So as a Unit 3 organization, I have 2 different offices, multiple counselors, 6 different counselors working for me, and we keep giving each other a task. So I want to make sure that as an owner of the business, I want to identify who's doing their job properly and who's missing their task. So quite simple. Anybody can add a task for anyone. So I can add a task for front office that please call this person or please do this for me because I would require this. It could be related to an application or it could be outside the CRM. For example, I want somebody to add new images on Facebook page because one of the students is asking for those links. Great, so I can do that. I can add task for anybody. Simply going on add task, select the user type. I want to give this to a front office guy who's handling the Facebook page. Select their name. Bhavna is the only one. Start date, starting today, and end date. I want it by end of the day, so I can select today's date as well. Title it, add Facebook images from the office party or whatever. And I can add the description, which can have XYZ, ABC, 1, 2, 3 instructions to do that. If there's a file I need to send, I can even upload a file. If not, then I can leave it like this and I can submit. Great, so a task has been added to Bhavna. Now what would happen when Bhavna would get this task? Suddenly she will hear a ring and this number with a bell will turn into 1, which means she has a new task. Every time there's a new task or there's an update on a task, it will create an alarm effect and I would be able to monitor that. It's like Facebook notifications. So as a super admin, I've added the task. I can look at the task report. I can see who's doing what activities. These are the total tasks in the company. There is a new one assigned to Bhavna. There are some in process, some completed ones. Now, anywhere you see this symbol of new remark, it means there are new updates on it. For example, suddenly I forgot to tell something to Bhavna on this. I click on view. I can add a new remark. I can still leave the status. I can say ABC forgot to tell you. Great. So it has a new remark being added. So when I go now to the tasks, I can see the new remark sign has already also appeared here. So added by super admin to Bhavna, who's the front office, and I've added new remark as well. So Bhavna would get these alarms on our system. Great, quite easy. Everybody has this task management system in their part. When they're doing a task, there's a due date for everything. And if they miss a deadline, as a super admin, I know they missed the due date. So you can see this calendar sign with the red. It means these 2 tasks are in process. They have already missed their deadlines. So if I want to do something about it, yes, I know what's really happening in my business. I can contact the person assigned to and then contact them. But as every user has their own task management, I can look at all the tasks which are assigned to me. These are 4 assigned to me. Oh, I'm the one who missed the deadlines. Ooh, I'm in trouble. And then there are updates, so I can see what's the update on this one. And the update is I have done it. So it's done, but it's not really complete. Oh, it's completed already. Great. So when I go back, since I have viewed this, suddenly the sign disappeared of the new comment. So that goes away. And that's how the alert works. Task assigned by me. So if I have given task to somebody, I can see what people are doing about the task assigned by me. So it's great. Great. So this works, and I know if somebody has read the comment or not because this new remark would remain till the time the other person reads it as well. So this is task management, quite handy, quite important. Depends on how effectively you want to use it. If there are too many tasks on the system, there's a shortcut here called search missed task. I want to see everyone who has missed the deadlines. So these are the only 2 ones right now. But as an owner, if I want to really keep searching them, that's a shortcut. I can always do that and search for tasks from here. But it depends, as I said, on how you effectively want to use it. Some companies use it quite effectively because they want to track everything they do. So while giving a task to anybody, they're not really telling them on the phone, but they use this as well to make sure it remains as a record. And as an owner is able to keep an eye on the task as well. Great, so task management is done. Now we're going to go through in detail of the super admin account. I'll tell you some more features which are available to everybody. I've already told you about this alert. I'll show you when we log into some other account. So I am the Mumbai branch office. I'm going to add another task for you to show it to you. So I'm going to add a task here to a branch office, to Mumbai. Start date today, due date on 23rd. Title is add new pages on the website. So branch office needs to do that. Please do XYZ and submit it. So that's a task being given by me to the branch office. So I'm going to show you how it works when I log into branch office. Okay, now looking at the other features here, notes, quite simple. Every user has it. So I don't want to use multiple things, and sometimes Word files are scary. You don't save things in it. This is automatic saving device. I can make notes while I'm on the phone with somebody. So this technically works like a sticky note or to-do list. I need to call Mr. Bhushan today. Okay, I can cancel. Don't need to save anything. I can carry on doing my work. Whenever I want to go back to the notes, I click on notes and everything is saved here. So I can log in from any machine, any system. Don't need to have like offline records, because what happens if I'm doing a to-do list on my Word file, probably I'm trying to really look at my to-do things with the sticky notes onto a different machine while I'm traveling. I can't access it, so notes allow me to do that. Switch user, already learned about it, how I can switch users. My system all the time shows me about who am I logged in as, last login date, what IP address, data consumed. As you know, on the system, there's no limitation on number of users, number of offices. Everything is unlimited. Besides the amount of data usage you have on physical files. So you can have 1 million application, your data consumed would always be 0, but only when you upload physical files. I upload PDFs, upload new documents is what covers your data size. Depends on what's been authorized to you. Global application access. How many applications can you give to universities you don't represent using the system? And for that, you can look and learn more from the global access menu, how to use. That video will tell you more about it. But that's a number which you always can see. Every user can see at what level are we. Missed tasks. So this is a shortcut. If I want to see what are the missed tasks in my business, there's a shortcut to see all these are missed. Dashboard, there's a shortcut for it. Analytics, shortcut for it. So that's something that gets activated as soon as I have more data, and in our new versions you'll see much more advanced features in this. Edit profile, I can edit my profile as a shortcut. Help desk, quite important. So if suddenly there's some problem with my system, we will keep updating the demo videos here and the PDFs here, but this is a key button. You can raise a ticket. So go click here to raise a technical problem. Select who you are. I'm an agent. Select that. Write your email address, subject, query. What's the priority? So don't really, please be specific to the priority. Just in case you want a font to be changed, small change in the looks of the system, it's not important. The priority is low. But if it's an application you can't access, there's an error on the screen, it's a high priority. Attach. There's a screenshot. Great. You should attach it. File types you can upload are GIF, JPG, JPEG, PNG, PDF. Maximum file size of 5 megabytes. Create a ticket. The files uploaded here are not being used in your data allowance. These are the private files you send out to uni agents, to the help team. so you can upload the files without worry. So you create a ticket and then you start receiving updates on the registered email, so you know when it's resolved. So we take it on priority. Our technical team gets on top of it as soon as we receive it. Great. So this is how the help desk work. You have a logout button, quite simple. You just press it and you are out of the system. The session timing is roughly half an hour, so if you're not really using it, cross the screen out. You can obviously log into the same screen if you haven't pressed log out. So log out when you're leaving your system is quite important. So I'm going to go to dashboard, explain a little bit more about the dashboard. So the leads in last 30 days appears as a quick reference. Tell you about which counselor has how many leads and what's the success rate. So Andy has 2 leads in last 30 days been added. Success rate is 0%. When there are multiple, you can view all. A simple graphical presentation to understand a rough summary of the business, and every user has it. The super admin can see the graph for entire business. Branch office can see the graph for the entire branch, and the counselor can see the graph for their own performance. So I want to see what happened in last 1 year for New Zealand. So 5th August 2015 to 5th August 2016 for New Zealand. So I can click here and submit. This will give me a graphical presentation of how many new applications have been received, still lying there, how many conditional, how many unconditional, how many visa received, rejected, commissions received or not. So it has, you can view that, and as I said, depending on the user type, you have a different access to this as well. Today's follow-up, very important. Leads follow-up are different from application follow-up. Like you did with leads, you also can set the follow-up time mode on applications as well, and I'll show you how. And you can monitor it. So as an admin right now, I am looking at the entire business. So there are, Andy has 3 follow-ups pending for today. I can view them all. So Andy has total 3 follow-ups. Click on 3, and I can see these are the 3 follow-ups Andy needs to do. He's already done 1, 2 are remaining. Great. Similarly, application status change in last 7 days. Very important for counselors. They want updates on that. They want to see what's really changing. They should really keep an eye on it on a regular basis. So that's the new application status for these ones. And everything is clickable. So I want to really go to this application. I can click on this. I want to talk to Neha Jindal. So I click on that Neha Jindal. I'll reach to Neha Jindal, and I can deal with this one. Sorry. Here we are. Important. Today's application follow-up. So this is different from leads follow-up, and I know these are the ones all to be dealt by Andy, and these are the reference number. Andy would go and actually make the changes. Skip follow-ups in last 7 days. So who is missing the follow-ups on leads? I can see all of them. So these are the missed follow-ups, and skip by who? Bhavna missed it as a front office. Branch office missed the follow-ups. And skip follow-ups on application. These are more critical because these people are my real business, and I can see who is missing the follow-up here as well. Applicant's birthday in the month of August. Anybody has the birthday, I can look at these people, contact them as well. I can see who's the counselor for them. I have missed tasks, so who's missing the task in the business. So these are important, quick references. Again, they will take me to the right screen. Everything remains clickable on the screen, and I'm able to reach out to the conclusion by clicking on right numbers. So dashboard is similar for everybody besides the access. A counselor will also see a same dashboard, but only their own information. Branch office would see it for every counselor in the branch, and super admin would see it for entire business. Great, so that's covered. Global access, as I told you. Please go on how to use it and watch it in detail. It's quite fascinating. Branch office, I've done it. Processing office, I've covered. Manage associate, I've covered. Representing countries, institution, counselor tools. Okay, so find courses on the counselors. It's a common tool. Sometimes the super admin also want to look at some courses while you're really talking to somebody, so it's a feature given to you. However, counselor tools are much detailed. So I will explain this while I'm explaining the counselor tools under that. For admin, it's very important right now to either view all the applications in the system, so you can click on view application reports. You have all the applications, download them into CSV as well, filter them on different grounds: when they were added, institution-wise, country, intake, reference number, counselor, status, associate. I want to see all the applications given by one sub-agent. You have multiple filters. Please let us know if more feedbacks, additions, subtractions. We are happy to do that for you. Then you have branch office reports. These are slightly graphical in nature. So I have, comparison between two branches. Total applications given by this Mumbai branch are 38. 20 are still new. Here 25 are new. Total are 57 given by Lagos. Great. I can click on these numbers. 57 total. I can see where are these 57 coming from. So Lagos has given which country's application there. So it's given 13 for New Zealand. Which are these 13? I can click on the number 30. Go and see these 13 applications. So it's quite interactive. I can start from a report and lead to the right applications and carry on by clicking them further. Similarly, you have counselor reports. I have different counselors, who's performing how many new, how many process. A lot of new applications is not a good sign, which means applications are lying there. Our processing office is not processing them properly. But yes, this is a dummy account. I think we keep a lot of new applications to do a lot of testing on these applications. So yes, you have numbers here. So quite interactive to use these reports. We've already gone through leads. Finance management is important. I would tell you more about it once I have given more details on how to use it from a counselor level. But it's important to understand that as a super admin, you need to authorize people in your company who are allowed to collect money, to set installments in your company. So in my agency, to authorize to issue receipts, I have all these counselors available. I would like to authorize these people. I can add more as well. Once I authorize them, the finance module gets activated in their login, and they are able to issue receipts. They're able to set installment plans. So these are the people. So for example, a student walks in and say, "I want to pay for your IELTS preparation." Then I would direct the student to the person who's authorized to issue these receipts and collect and do the finance management. I can do it with everybody as well if I'm happy to do that, but it depends, how I really want to do it. I can update it to everybody, and everyone will have the access. It's very simple. Now, unauthorized to issue receipt is similar to deleting an institution right. Similarly, I can delete the access of Phil by clicking on counselor rights, and it removes Phil from there. Manage agency fee category. Now, this is something I need to add as a super agent or super admin. That what are the different programs I run and what's my suggested price on that. So do I charge any money from student? Yes or no? If I write a no here, everything is irrelevant, which means finance module will not work anywhere in my system. Only if I'm adding or charging any fees, I have to select it as yes to start with, and then add more categories, and I can keep adding more. I charge for career fees, I charge for IELTS coaching, I charge for visa counseling, charge for other things as well, and write suggested price as well. Great. So that's how this is what will appear in the counselor's login, and I will show you how it works. But also, when an application fee is added, I can monitor that application fee as the super admin, who all have been paying the application fee directly to the university. So these are the students. I can view more by clicking on them. I can look at what was paid, how much was paid, what was the application look like. Similarly, I have installment manager. Now that's great, because as a business, I really want to know my cash flow. So if students, I have a big coaching center, I can select how much money I need to collect, or I have collected between January 2016, 1st January till today. So total collection is 514, and these are the people. Installment amounts were these, due date were these, and this is what's collected, and that's not collected. This is I can pay now. This lead is due. Can pay it now. Ooh, the red means they're skipped. So no money was collected from them, and that is payment done. Sorry, so Neha Sharon has made the payment, others are all skipped. I can click on that and look at it. So Ranveer Sharma for New Zealand, amount due, and I can save this installments. For example, now I need to collect the payment. Soon as for example, the person is ready to pay tomorrow, paid using bank transfer. I can put the copy and save. Great. So when I go to installment manager now, and I'm looking at anything between 1st January till today, are these leads, and Ranveer is paid now. Great. So I can see paid by bank transfer, any copy of proof. If I uploaded, then it would appear here. So that's a sort of receipt for the super admin to look at. So it depends how actively I keep adding these installments. I would know my cash flow. I can look at how much money am I expecting today, who's missing the installments, and what sort of cash flow I'm looking on monthly, weekly, daily basis as well. So anything which is today comes in different code, anything which is skipped, anything which is collected, and anything which is not in one of those and would come on the blue color. Great, so this is pretty much finance, and I will show you how we set up the fee, how we do that. It's quite interesting, quite automatic. You don't need to do a lot of work. Works quite simply. So this is pretty much for the super admin to monitor, to look at things. Let's go on to the branch manager and understand how does it work for branch manager. So remember, I added a task for branch manager, so I'm expecting there will be a notification when I log in. So I want to switch. And here I am. So you see there is one here, and there's a bell that rang in the system. So there is new work is assigned. Can you see the highlight? It start blinking, and there's a new task assigned here. So I can go to the task management, look at task assigned to me. So there's new task assigned, and I can see there's a new task here. As soon as I view it and say, oh, good, I'm putting that in process. Okay, I am already on it, and I update it. Now this is good. Suddenly the task becomes 0. Now since there's an update for super admin will get the alert that there's an update on the task, but my job is done. So I'm quickly looking at how different is super admin from a branch manager. Everything is almost the same because you're the super admin for the branch. So I have a my account dashboard, multi-user access profile. I've already showed you this. Same notes, same switch user, same analytics, same search students, same dashboard. But the difference is my dashboard is for my office, my particular branch. So I would not see the details of other branch. So the missed task, I cannot see it because they doesn't belong to my branch. So it suddenly becomes empty. Great. Counselors, gone through it. Front office, I've gone through it. Manage associate, great. I can add the associate for my own branch, which can be different from the branch, the standard sub-agents for entire business, representing countries, representing institutions, counselor tools, find courses, search students. I've already shown you how the search student work. Reports, view application counselor reports. Now, counselor reports would only be from my office. So only these 4 counselors work for my office, so reports are only for these counselors. Lead management. Now the other different thing is I can add lead sources for my own branch office, as I have shown you in the super admin. I can add lead sources. It works exactly the same. It looks the same. The difference is that the lead sources added by branch would remain only to that branch, but the super admin can access them all. Adding a lead, great. It's slightly different in this case because if I'm pressing on add lead, it would ask me to select the counselor as well. So I can select multiple counselors, select them all while I'm adding lead. Otherwise, it all remains the same. So it will appear to everybody. And to counselors, it will appear as new lead under lead section, so they don't need to work on that. unassigned leads. So if I really don't assign anything, and there is front office which is adding leads. So we went to an education fair, and there were loads of leads which have been added by the front office. Then great, I would have all these leads here, and I can select the counselor. So I can simply take actions by assigning them. So I will, they have been already dealt with. But if there are any new leads assigned here, which are new leads, I will be able to assign them quite simply by simply clicking on them and assigning them. Manage follow-ups. I can see the entire follow-ups due in my office. So all the green ones are done. The other ones are missed. I also have the button of looking at missed follow-ups and similarly like a super admin. Finance management. I can see manage agency fee, application fee, installment manager for my own branch. So I can look at installment manager. And I can view all of them. Select a date, 1st August to 16th August. And there is nothing for my branch. Great, so technically branch office works absolutely similar. The only extra things, as I told earlier, are adding counselors and assigning them institution, and similarly adding a front office and assigning them rights as well. Very, very important, but very, very similar to super admin. So let's switch on to a login of a counselor, and this is where the actual actions happens. These are the guys on the ground, the counselor and the processing office. So I'm going to switch myself as a counselor now. Again, the standard menus remain the same. The functionality is exactly the same. Searching, student analytics, but everything only limited to my rights and as a counselor. Everything here. I cannot edit things. I can view the countries, institutions. The most important thing are my applications for a counselor, my tools, and my task and my finances. So let's see how I start really. If a student, of course, I have leads to start with. I can add a new lead. I've already shown this to you. I can view and manage follow-ups. No rocket science, quite simple. As soon as I complete a lead, turn into an application, great. But as soon as I have a student now, so the lead part is over. I have a student. I need to counsel the student. So what I need to do now is find a course. So the student is interested in specific program. As I told you, if you're adding keywords in the module, you can search the programs by keywords. You can search them by level. I want to look at all bachelor's program. Country-wise, I see all the New Zealand programs. I can filter them through, select them by category as well, accounting, business, and programs which are direct and global access. So programs that we work directly with and the programs which are global access can be separated. So I'll look at all direct programs or global access, no problems. Great, I can look at the program details, view them, sit with the students, show them how the details look like. Everything is centralized. Anything which is uploaded into the system, there are prospectuses will automatically appear here. I can forward them, email them directly from here, no problems. Important tool here. Now, student is happy to receive information on a particular program, but they want to compare now. So I'm confused. Should I go to Australia? Should I go to New Zealand? No problems. I can help you. I'll select Australia. Sorry, as a counselor, it's not assigned to me. I think Singapore is. So yeah, I can compare. Singapore certificate masters in fashion. Add New Zealand. And add UK. And compare. This is one of the most powerful tool the system has, because students can also do it directly from your website, or when they call you, you're able to sort of do this, email it to them. And that's a comparison on almost everything: campus, supporting body, eligibility, language, monthly living cost, fund requirements for visa, part-time work, institutional benefits, visa requirement, country benefits. So you can compare instead of really scribbling down things on piece of paper. You can compare, and I can download this entire document in a PDF and email it to the student. So this document comes with my logo of my agency, with declaration that the information is best to my knowledge, and an actual comparison, can email it to you. So when a student calls me and say, I really want to sort of compare UK and New Zealand, instead of really asking them to come and see me in the office, I can really send them something which is really professional, and let them look at it and contact me. And quite a handy tool when you're sitting with a student and comparing programs. So when a student really takes something back home to show to the parents, very professional, and I think does really help you in sort of converting students in a better way. Searching students, another tool. As soon as I have, and I think I've showed it to you already, but the great part here is I can look at students who are from other offices as well. I cannot really do anything to them, but I have the right to see if the student has just walked in asking for me to apply. Then I can look at everybody here. So there are 2 inquiries to Como from Mumbai office, one from Lagos office, another one from Mumbai. So there are 2 applications by the name Como, 2 different people. They're all actually 3 different people. Their names are quite different. So if I see you already there, great. I can view the entire application. Great. So the next one on the list is finance management for me, and quite easy in terms of as a counselor, I can add an agency fee for a student who wants to pay. So what I need to do is look for students. For example, it's an IELTS coaching preparation or an other English language test preparation. Then a student is not yet an application as a lead. So I'll go on lead, select the name, Omar, and search this person. I can search them on different, using their email, date of birth, passport, keyword. But again, I can distinguish between an agency fee for a lead or an application. So there's a guy here from Bangladesh. I just select this person. That's the right one. He wants to pay for visa counseling. Okay, $100 is the price. If there's a discount, I can add a discount. There's a 10% that we offer. It'll automatically become 90. I want to add some tax. These taxes are added by the super admin. You can really decide what's the percentage and what the tax means. If there's no tax you want to charge, just leave them blank. The option will not appear. Grand total is 90. Wants to pay 60 right now, and it'll automatically become 30. Wants to pay that in 2 equal installments. It'll automatically come as 15. The due date is wants to pay 1 next week and the 1 week after. Great. So I just update it. It's simple. If I add the tax will also get added. So I can now look at the managed agency fee. I can look at everything that I've added. So Como is the one, 100. I can look at the entire detail. What have I added into Como? That's the status, grand total 90, paid amount 60, rest amount 30, installment 1, installment 2, due on what dates. Great, as a counselor, I really know that. Important for me to keep an eye on my installment manager. Also, I get such alert on my dashboard if there is anything due. So anything due between 16th and 30th. I just added 30. Yeah, that 30 is here. $20 to be due from these guys. So they're still remaining. Yeah. So quite easy to handle the financial side. It makes an impact everywhere. All the users would know when to be followed up. Super admin will get the report. Branch office will get their report. And as a person who's authorized to issue receipts, I can do that. So that is pretty much for the counselor. Now I've just logged in as a branch office, and I'm going to switch to a front office as well. So I'm going to just create a multi-level access for me as front office. save it, and show you how the front office works. So now I have a switch to front office option available. I can switch to one. Great. So, there's a task assigned to the front office. So I'll go there. It's a new task here. I'll view it. And this time I'll complete it. So, done. Check www.fb.com/ and update it. So successfully done. Great. Now the login for front office is quite limited because I have my account, I have lead management, add leads, view leads, search students. That's the biggest thing, is someone has to do. Select counselors, or don't select them and then still send them. Keep adding leads, or maybe you have, as a receptionist, I'm sitting on the desk and somebody is calling me. And hi, my name is Komal. So I'll say, okay, can I just 1 second? So, Komal, what's your full name? Komal Pandey. Oh, so this is you. Great. Can you confirm your date of birth? Okay, great. So how can I help you today? So yeah, I can do these activities as a front office or a call center or a receptionist, and I have own leads in the last 70 days, the ones which I've added. So have they been really turned? The success rate. I can also look at which branch they were sent to. So there will be a task here. Any missed task which is from me, then I can see them as well. So technically a smaller dashboard, but yes, quite effective and based on what's really needed to be learned by the front office desk. Great. Rest everything looks very similar, like other logins. So we've covered that. Now the biggest and the most important part of the system, which is the processing, is what I'm going to show you now. So I'm going to switch back. Technically, I'll log out quickly and log in back. Now this is the most important part of the system. How do we really process our applications? Great, we can manage our leads more effectively. We can search everything. Everything is color-coded with tasks, statuses. Great, but how am I really processing my application is the key here. And this is the most powerful tool that we have. So I'm going to switch to the processing office. Now keep in mind, any counselor with the processing rights is able to do the same thing as well. But I'm switching to the processing office to show you how that looks as well. So the processing office has a different, slightly different dashboard. Has everything to do with birthdays, missed tasks, but also has the alarms. So really know what applications need to be really worked on. So there are 14 applications lying here that I need to access. 2 applications conditional, 2 on visa required. I can click on these numbers and reach to these applications to take the actions. Now, let me just quickly show you something. So that's how the application works. So let me just show you the entire process. Let me look at any new application. So I'm looking at on New Zealand and looking at new applications. So there are 14 applications lying in new. The first thing I need to do now, everything I showed you while configuring the account, I'll be able to confirm them here. So this current status is new, so that's how we read an application profile. I can update it because I'm a processing office, I have that right. What's next is something that you have added in the status notes. So what to do when an application is new for New Zealand. If I click here, I will be able to read. Please review the application, forward to the institution for processing. Please make sure the following documents have been successfully attached. So if there's a list of documents, I will make sure they're there. The name is Prabhu, and I'll show you how the history gets built up. Right now, what I'm going to do is view and review the application. So An application cannot go out of the system till the time it's verified. So let me review the application. So, okay, everything looks good. Everything looks good. I know I'm not added anything, I'm just pretending, but please be with me. So yeah, everything looks good. Great. All the documents are here. I'll verify it. Now, as soon as the application gets verified, I will be able to now forward this application. So I go and view applications again. Suddenly, Prabhu's application, it was only view review earlier. Now there is a forward application button. Forward in English or forward in multiple languages. So this feature is available for our Chinese agents or Spanish, Russian agents who also use the system. We use semi-lingually, we means, multi-language, sorry, not semi. They use it in English, but still want to download things in different languages. So forward in English, quite simple. I will forward the application. So the first thing I will do is forward an application. Let me show you some other applicant because I have not uploaded many documents here. So it was not really a great application to demonstrate on. I'll go quickly back to the applications and show you an application. Just 1 second. I love this guy. And so while I'm forwarding the application, if you really look at it, I can add receiver's name. I want to send it to Dishant. Know this guy well. I can have a different CC and a different, multiple CC IDs. So autofill. Personalized message. I do not need to add details like who is the student, what's the student number, ID, current status. No problem. Everything is picked automatically. So I'm sending this application. Please have a look and revert back at the earliest. Great. Whatever I sent, all the documents are here. Application, his language certificates, IELTS scored copy. I can select either all the documents or I can select certain documents I want to send. I want to send BCC, bank statement only, along with it, and submit it. Great, so the application is gone. Now if I go to my Gmail, which I've just sent it to, there we go. I have received application from Bhanu Kaur. So I already know Bhanu, country, course, intake, current status. It'll be new in case of a new application. Agent reference ID, institution reference ID would be blank because the first time I'm receiving it. An institution ID can be entered as well. I'll show you how. Message from Unit 3. Please have a look and revert back at the earliest. If I add more details, everything would be here. This email has been generated, and we don't take responsibility of the content. Just a declaration to safeguard us. All the documents you uploaded are here. Now with every application, there'll be an automatic profile which goes out, which looks very professional. So it's your agency's logo, and you have an applicant profile, which looks like almost like a university application form. Everything that an institution wants in an application form. So it looks very, very professional. Sometimes some universities may tell you that, okay, you don't need to fill another application form. Ask the student to fill a declaration or accept our terms and conditions. We're happy with it. And some would still ask you to fill another form, so you can fill it up, scan it, and upload it as well here as part of one of the documents. Great. So you have forwarded the application. The university can review it, can get back to you and reply to you, and then you know how to sort of really, as a processing office, update. So as soon as you have an offer letter, what I would do is this application I forwarded, for example, I can update. Oh, I have an offer letter. I go update it. Select a new status. Unconditional offer has been received. I choose a file and upload it. Add the admin notes if there is anything I want to add here. Institution reference number. So it's the first time the offer is being made. So certainly the offer letter that I've received on the email must have an institution reference number. So probably it's INS1234W, and I submit it. Great. So it says no file chosen, which means I have updated the status, but you did not choose any file, which means students, your sub-agents will not be able to download any file if you have not uploaded any. However, it's recommended. Some of the agents do not prefer to upload them here. It's their choice. They still want, the smaller agents only do like 20, 30 a year, still want to communicate to student directly. However, if you do that here, and if you've added the template in your system, which I showed you right in the beginning, then student will automatically receive an update, and student will be able to go to your website and download the offer letter as well from your website and check their current status. It's good, to sort of look more professional these days, to have transparent system, let the user have the right and control over. So, for example, the student is traveling, you were not able to reach to him, he gets an email later in the night, can go online and download whenever at their convenience. Great. It brings clarity. So this is how you forward an application. I'm looking at a complete application here. So let me look at this application here. It is the current status is visa received, and I can learn what to do next by clicking on what to do next. Let me look at the history, quite important. So I know exactly what happened with this application. Was received on what date, how it went on. This is an unconditional offer. I can download from the history. Visa was received on this date. Admin notes only are visible to you. Nobody else can see it. So you can write student seems like messing up, whatever. I can put the admin notes. They get added, and I can look at these admin notes in the historical format. Sorry, under the history. So I know exactly how and what I have entered. View in English, so you can download the application, as I said, or in multiple language. Send email verification link. So this student has not verified the email yet, which means our automatic system of sending emails will not work for this student. So what I would do is send an email verification link again, which means student would get a reminder, and I'll be able to do that. Great, it has been sent. Track reminder mail. So you can send reminder mails to the student. Great, so quickly logged into the agent account who has processing officer rights, also for you to compare things. Since I did not have any verified email profile, so I'm going to just try and do that as well in front of you so you understand that. So I'm just looking at all the applications from New Zealand with status new. So I'm logging as Alex. There are 12 applications in total. And what I'm going to do is, since I am the counselor, I can edit the details now. So keep in mind, till the time the status is new, I can edit it. Once it becomes verified by the processing office, it's frozen. I can't change it. So I'll go and edit details. Poonam Gupta. And only thing I would change here is change the email ID to Dushyant at gmail.com. Rest everything is fine. I submit that. And application is successfully reviewed. I will go back to view applications. And I'll go back to country and look for the application. Great, so Poonam Gupta application has my email ID now. I'll send the email verification link. It has been sent now. Great. Here we go. Confirmation link has been received. So your application for this intake has been added. Would you like to confirm? I'll click on the link to confirm my email. Email verified successfully. Great. So that's good. If I just refresh it now. So great. Now do you see the change? I have a send reminder mail instead of the verification link. So now this account is activated. I can send reminder mails to Poonam. It goes from my email ID as I'm logged in there to the email ID which is registered, and I can write down the message. I was trying to chase you for further documents and whatever, XYZ. I can attach a file as well, submit it. So this mail has gone as a reminder to the student into the inbox. I can check that as well. And it will become like a history here. So all the emails you're sending, what time, what date, remains a tracking history for every application. So everything remains intact into one place. Since the application is new, not been forwarded, there's an option of changing institution. If there's anything that needs to be changed, this is open. Once the application gets forwarded, it gets frozen as well. Right now, as a new application, there are a lot of things that can be done. So currently, since I'm logged in as a counselor with processing office rights, I can review this application. I've reviewed it. Now, if I go back to the application, if I refresh it, I can see the forward application option just appeared for me. So I can now forward the application. It's been reviewed. Keep in mind, everything you're doing on the system is tracked. Who's verifying, from which IP, when, where. So that's a great thing. I can now send this application and keep a track as well. So I'm going to go back to Super Admin. Not really. I will show you a complete profile once again. So the other features I may have missed. So this is a visa received application. It has history associated to it. Everything that has happened with this application. When was the application forwarded? What notes? Everything comes here. You have admin notes to review, PDF in English, which is your profile of the application in different language. Send email verification link if the email is not verified. Track mails. You will not be able to track and send them till the time the email is verified. If ever student changes the email or it's bouncing back again, you would have to edit it and send them a new verification link for them to update and validate their email ID. So great, this is pretty much the basic profile. You can look at the documents, edit them, you can download the unconditional offer. When was this application last updated? So anything you upload is available on the download here or in the history of the application. The great part is forwarding and managing everything in the same application. The button called Manage Follow-up is very important for me to keep a track on my follow-up. So I spoke to the student, everything was fine. I will click on Manage Follow-up, very similar to Lead Follow-up system. The only thing is you can only see the follow-up details for this application. So the application still looks hot, everything is fine. I need to follow up next week to ask the student about the flying tickets because the student already has the visa. So ask me to call at 2 p.m. and would tell me the details. I'm gonna call this person for flight details. Okay, just grab this flight and save it. So it's as simple as that. Again, it will reflect on my follow-ups to be done. My super admin will be able to see it. My branch office manager will be able to see it. and if I miss it, everybody will get a highlight note that I'm missing my follow-up. So quite important to ensure that when I'm working on an application or a lead, I should add a follow-up date and status and keep it up to date. So this is pretty much all over how to forward application. As I explained that forwarding application, playing with it, verification can be done either by the processing office or by the counselor who has the rights of the processing office. Keep in mind, every time you're doing such activity, you have assigned the rights to the right person, you have assigned the institutions to the right person, and you have assigned the institutions to the right processing office as well, not just the counselor, for them to be able to forward applications and process them. So quite handy as a tool. I think this is pretty much in terms of version 3, which is available right now. Of course, while you use them, you have all these features available to filter them through on multiple levels, and once you start to use it, you may have greater ideas in terms of how it can be made more effective for your agency. Do not hesitate, share them with us. We have a version coming up every 3 months. We'll be very happy to add your suggestions into our new upcoming versions, and we wish you all the luck. I hope the presentation is quite useful. Now, if you have any questions which are still unanswered, please discuss among the team, write them down, give us a call to one of the counselors or to one of the advisors from UniAgents, who's going to be your training expert for today, to come online and start answering your questions. But I think if you want to watch it a couple of times, feel free. I think it's quite important for you to sort of understand every feature, understand how this functions. I think it's a long video, but a couple of time watch would enable you to understand how this system is structured and how flexible this is to allow you to configure this as per your own requirements. So I wish you all the luck. I hope you really benefit from this, and we are available here anytime you need, and we're looking forward for more constructive feedback from you to keep innovating, keep developing, keep improving the technology for benefit of the entire fraternity in the international mobility sector. So great, good luck, and stay in touch.